Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have finally got a dynamic duos objective. We have had them in SPCs literally the whole year so far, so I'm very excited to have him in objectives. Lads, we're going to go over all of these objectives step by step. I'm going to give you guys my tips, tricks. I'll talk about the Managerial Masterpiece game mode, a little bit of a squad builder for the Managerial Masterpiece game mode, as I said, with some in-game tips as well. Boys, if you do enjoy or this does help you out, we do go into depth in this video. There will be lots of timestamps at the bottom as well. You can, skip to the squad builder, skip to the section that you do want to, alright? So you got 49 days to complete this objective, and I mean, finally getting into it, starting off, we've got assist 4 through balls using players with at least 80 passing. Lots of people think PAS means pace. I have seen that a lot before, but no, that is the passing stat, alright? So assist 4 through balls using players with at least 80 passing. For a through ball assist, here is an example. To perform a through ball assist, all you have to do is press triangle on the PlayStation. If you are on Xbox, then it would be Y, and all you gotta do is do the rest with the person you pass to and hope you score. You've then got score 4 goals with Uruguayan players in a live FUT Friendly Managerial Masterpiece, scored 12 goals in a live FUT Friendly, and you do unlock a Stuani card. Now, for only 12 goals, lads, this is phenomenal, because you could even get this done in literally 1 or 2 games. Basically, what you want to do, if you are on PC, then it's a little bit difficult, but if you are on Xbox or PlayStation, it's a whole lot easier. Go into a game, and if you are on a new gen console, I believe it's cross-play, right? I mean, I'm trying to think if it's cross-play on old-gen consoles or not. I'm actually not sure. But nonetheless, when you go into a game, you want to try and match someone on the same console as you. Okay, so if you're on PlayStation, you want to try and match someone on PlayStation. If you're on a new-gen Xbox console, finding someone else on a new-gen Xbox console could be quite tough because there's a lot more PlayStation users. If you are struggling, turn off cross-play for this, okay? So go into your settings and turn off cross-play so you are only playing Xbox players. But what you want to do is you want to try and find someone on the same console. You want to pause it, you want to press down on square or X if you are on Xbox, and basically that will tell you your opponent's gamer tag. You want to then go ahead and you could maybe download the PlayStation app, or if you got an Xbox app on your phone, just so it's a little bit easier. You could still do it on the console, it's just quicker on the phone because it's quicker to type, but you want to search your opponent's gamer tag, and you have to hope that his PlayStation messages are open first of all, and you want to message him and say, hey man, do not let each other get the 12 goals. That way you will both be able to get Stuani in literally 1 game each, okay? So go goal for goal, maybe offside trap your defenders, move your keeper, spam slide tackle if you're not sure how to offside trap, let him get those goals and see if he does the same for you. Now, a simple way to do this as well, to see if he's down for it, and maybe let's say his PlayStation messages or Xbox messages are turned off, then what you could do is just give him a couple goals from kickoff, make him aware that you're giving him goals, and he should pick up on it if he's an experienced objective player, and try get the 12 goals each and just go ham. As simple as that. And whilst you're doing that as well, you'll have, you could do the through balls as well. Assist 4 through balls with players with at least 80 passing, alright? And get the 4 goals with Uruguayan players as well if you want. That's not so much as important, because when you do get the Stuani card, which as I said, if you get lucky and match the right guy, will take you only literally 1 game for this card, then you can then put him in the squad, and you've got score using dynamic Stuani in 4 separate matches, then you've got win 8 separate matches with Stuani in your starting lineup. So as I said, boys, to get Stuani, that's the easy part, okay? You can try get this done in 1 game, and then you have to win 8 games with him in the squad. Quite self-explanatory, right? So Managerial Masterpiece under friendlies, go on over to Managerial Masterpiece. Now the rules, it is a classic match, so like any other game, any other game mode, 6 minutes a half, etc. Now as you can see, it says bronze players exactly 0 in your starting 11, 88 and higher overall, at most 1, and you need an overall rating of at most 80 rating. You could have at most 1 lone player as well. Now I do want to mention these requirements are bugged. It says you're not allowed any bronze players in your starting 11, but what they actually mean is in your starting squad. They mean the subs and reserves as well. They are so awful with it, man. They are so poor when it comes to this, because they do this, all these little things. And I've done probably, going from FIFA 21 to now FIFA 23, probably well over, what, 150 objective guides. And lads, let me tell you, the amount of little mistakes EA do, they start getting to you, mate. It's bloody annoying. I'll show you guys what I mean shortly anyways, but let's get into the squad builder. Right, boys, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and built a full La Liga team. Now, you guys have probably copied this team, and in fact, we'll quickly go over it, alright? Our two strikers is Correa and Griezmann. Griezmann's quite important because he's got at least 80 passing as well, which is a bonus. Muniain at left mid with Lamar. Insurgi Data is our two centre mids, Canales is our right mid with Espino, who we're actually completing, as our left back, Ronald as our centre back, not going to try that last name, Nacho Fernandez as well as our centre back with Montiel at right back and David Soria in net. So if you want, you can pause that. Now, if you've done that, you're probably going, Davis plays, mate. My squad rating is over 80. In fact, I think it would be an 82 rated squad at this point, okay? And it would even be an 83 squad after you get this 85 Stuani in, okay? Now, basically what you got to do, you got to put 65, or it doesn't have to be 65. I think you might be able to bump it up a little bit. But basically, the lowest possible rating you can have on your bench to bring the overall rating down are 65 rated cards. So we are basically kind of tricking EA into thinking we have a lower rated squad than we actually do. For example, if we take these silver players off, as you can see, keep an eye on the rating, it's now gone up to 81. If we keep taking them off, it will indeed go up to 82. So make sure your 65 rated players are on the bench. And this is what I was talking about earlier in saying that it is broken. You cannot use bronze players on the bench, and it says in the requirements you cannot use bronze players in the starting 11. And EA, the subs are not the starting 11, okay? So they should have said the starting squad. As you can see, bronze players, it says I've got one in the starting 11 when he is clearly on the bench. So the lowest rating you can possibly use is going to be 65 rating, okay, lads? Now, that does lead me kind of into tip number one, and that is going to be a super sub. You will have enough if you, like, as you can see, I've got 80 rating, and I have double checked when you do get your Stuani in as well, it does remain 80 rated. I've got a 91 Kylian Mbappe on the bench as my 88 and higher overall player in the squad, and as my lone one. Once again, that's voluntary, you do not have to have that, but if you do still have your lone Mbappe, I do recommend that. If you maybe have some good La Liga players, or it doesn't even have to be La Liga players, we're just keeping that theme going on, you might be able to fit in a pretty solid 86, 87 card into your starting lineup, and then just have a lesser of a super sub. The super sub in Mbappe is only there if maybe your opponent isn't quitting, isn't doing golden goal, which you'll see me talk about a little bit more shortly, then you can just, you know, go ahead and bring on the big dog, sub on Mbappe. He's just a backup. If you're struggling, your opponent's, you know, staying for the full game, you're going to play the full game out, you're a goal or two down, or you want to try come back and win, Kylian Mbappe, he's the big dog, okay? He's just a guy you sub on as a last resort of help. Loans do not count in this game mode as well, obviously. Now, obviously, when you go into it, at first, you'll have Correa instead of Stuani, and as I said, you want to get the 12 goals into single match by messaging your opponent if his messages are not messageable, if that's grammatically correct sentence, then you can just, you know, offside trap from kickoff, see if he lets you get some goals, see if he's down for it, and he will be aware after you've given him the first 2 or 3 goals, if he is an experienced objective player, and if he doesn't want to, simply back out, quit, and go on to the next game. It is no point trying to get the 12 goals naturally, because that could take you 5-6 full games, assuming you average 2 goals a match, so that's no good, that's not what you want. You want to get the Stuani card as soon as possible. After you get the Stuani card, you can start getting the Uruguayan goals. You should be able to get some through ball assists with players with at least 80 passing when you get the 12 goals. Griezmann's got 80 passing along with your whole midfield. The only player that is attacking that does not have 80 passing is Correa, okay? So you should get those through ball assists once again by pressing triangle when you are stat padding those 12 goals when you find a willing opponent. But then you will have Stuani in your squad, and you need to win 4 games and like score with him in 4 separate ones, I believe. So win 8 games and score with him in 4 separate, lads. Tip number 2, if you count the bench as tip number 1, is going to be golden goal. And please, do yourself a favor and do golden goal. Golden goal is an unspoken community rule and is very self-explanatory. Basically, whoever scores first, the other opponent will go ahead and back out. So if you go 1-0 down, you may as well back out, because there's no worse feeling than having to win the game. You get to the 70th minute and you go 1-0 down. You feel like you've just wasted so much time. Now, this was on stream, and as you can see, it was a game mode where we did need a win, and only 13 minutes into the game, which is like 2 IRL minutes, we go 1-0 up. My opponent quits. Now we're going to speed this up so you guys know I'm not cutting it until, like, 5 games later, because that's just unrealistic. So I'm going to speed the whole process up again to the game after, and the exact same thing happens. We go 1-0 up and my opponent backs out. That's 2 wins that we got in the space of maybe 4 IRL minutes, compared to having to actually play the full games out. Usually would take like half an hour, 15 minutes a match. Obviously, if you do go 1-0 down as well, you will have to quit yourself, because then it just makes it much more effective. So make sure, lads, to do some golden goal. So boys, for the famous overview, assist 4 through balls using players with at least 80 passing. Your right striker in Griezmann, Muniain, Lamar, Sergi Dada and Canales all have at least 80 passing, and you can do a through ball by pressing triangle on PlayStation or Y if you are on Xbox, and you will get these done whilst you are getting the 12 goals. Going back to what I said, you can try get these 12 goals in one match, try find a willing opponent, whether you message him. If that doesn't work, you can obviously just, give him some goals away from kickoff and hope that he understands what you're trying to do. The score 4 with Uruguayan, you will leave until you have unlocked the Stuani card. Then after you've got Stuani, you've got score using Stuani in 4 separate matches, which will also give you the Uruguayan goals. So a little bit of an unnecessary objective added from EA with Uruguayan goal scorer, when you'll be getting that anyway. But basically, you'll have score using dynamic duo Stuani in 4 separate matches and win 8 separate matches. As soon as you get Stuani in your squad, you're going to want to start doing golden goal. Remember the squad builder, remember the tips. Good luck, lads, happy grinding. This looks like, as I said, if you could probably get this done in an hour. If you can find someone willing to do the 14 goals, then it's just golden goal for the 8 games, isn't it? And you got to hope you score Stuani in 4 of them. Really self-explanatory. I'm going to say this could take you 60 minutes if you do it correctly.